All right, we're back to Senna first pick, except this time we have a Vi ban. All right.
Looking good, and yeah, we're seeing it again, the Senna. I'm curious what's going to be the counter fight, and I don't think that's something that well.
Proactivity on the roll.
I mean, I really like it. Like, although I'm on Rambo, that's a champion that, oh my god, in 2021 he was getting banned off all the time because it was his like signal. More like Sejuani Akali sound.
Okay, so now we're going to take the Sejuani on the opposite side. So, possible Jax angle here from Merwin. We'll see if they have more Sejuani synergy.
Basically, we decide to mismatch bot lane.
Jim into Senna. This feels safer.
Might happen because we have a last pick, right? So
the Jhin feels safer into the Senna pick, and also, you know, there's a possibility of punishing it with, depending on like your support in jungle, which one of those two things is going to be Rel. So we've gotten rid of the Sejuani in favor of the Rel, which probably is what they should have picked last game instead of Sejuani. And the Jax now will be able to provide long-range engage onto the less mobile Senna.
But we'll see that because think about it, maybe you want to
Akali flex. That is a very good point. A finite field, because Merwin does play Ignite, Teleport, Akali top at times. Very true, very true.
So I guess they're thinking it might be, but I don't see
no Blitzcrank into Senna.
I'm not sure if they should.
We are going to take the Nautilus, so it will be Rel jungle. Lots of good kill pressure in the bot side now for the Senna.
I mean, I would say Ko is fine.
Rom into Nautilus, classic counter pick in the support position. Tom Kench isn't there.
And I'm really curious how they're gonna in Rambo.
And Twistana, so it is a top lane Akali. Interesting Braum synergy in the bot side with Sejuani, like getting Sejuani E into concussive blows. Like there is crazy good lockdown there on any kind of engage. Like the counter engage is really good. He banned Talia on accident.
Leona Jhin, quite of an old school duo, but they already have the dumb one skins together, so it is actually a bot lane that can.
What? I mean, maybe.
I'm not sure if in this match, but sure. Well, actually, they banned Talia, so I guess they're thinking it might be, but I don't see much of a reason. Maybe it's actually good 1v1. Okay, there is a Hui ban as well.
Almost no disabled people on the street. Maybe, but like having lived in New York, all of the subways in Korea have elevators, which is like not true in New York City at all. So I would think, at least for like people in wheelchairs, it'd be a lot easier to get around Seoul in general. Like elevator access is really prevalent. I don't know. I think public transportation is amazing, and like elevator access is very prevalent on subways, every single subway station. So that does surprise me a little bit.
AD mid, they're gonna pair up the Sejuani with, because if you go an AP mid here, you're gonna be really overstacked. I feel like topside. So maybe what are your AD mids?
There's lots of handicap parking everywhere I see it. Yeah, I don't. That's not my impression at all. I think for a big city, Seoul actually probably has very good disability access, but I could be wrong. It's not something I spend a lot of time, you know, thinking about, fortunately.
Okay, okay, yeah, sure, that makes absolute sense. I mean, they did pick Nautilus, so Braum angle is fine. It's quite of a good neutralizer, but they have a last pick on mid lane.
Yeah, in the subways, there's always like places for pregnant women, for old people to sit down, seats, you know, saved for handicapped people. The subway doors are all super wide. The trains are super wide. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we're going full poke, full kind of all-in way. I'm not sure how is the Jace Tristana matchup. I do think it's a bit better for.
Oh yeah, the subways are super clean. There's actually bathrooms in the subways that you can use that are also super clean.
Even though it's a brown, I think Jin, Nautilus can
There's no crime in Korea, guys. It's like none.
Second is how the top lane will go versus Akali, Akali versus Rambo. But do you have an even like the constant damage, right? With Jin, Rambo, it's more like a burst champs or like the champions that want to set up. Okay, we're going full poke, full late.
Yeah, very, very long range damage here on the side of GIANTX. So, I mean, Jin's not in the right place yet, but you get it. Like, huge amounts of poke damage. This will also can be used, Rumble Equalizer can be used to poke out the back line. So, really good long-range poke and pick potential on the side of GIANTX. Again, Sejuani maybe not the best synergy with the composition that we're running on this side.
What's gonna be happening a lot first bot lane, even though it's a brown, I think Jin, Nautilus can actually look for stuff with Rel.
Problem is with GIANTX, like in a long fight, especially if Rumble goes down early, they're gonna have a problem like actually dealing damage. And Braum is gonna be super strong into Jin, Jace, and Nautilus, right? I mean the shield value for Braum is crazy here. And, you know, Sejuani may be impossible to kill late. Braum feels amazing, though, in this composition. Yeah, there's no vandalism in Korea, guys. They've even run social experiments where people, like, leave a laptop on the subway and it's returned, like, 90% of the time. There's no vandalism. Nobody vandalizes anything. No graffiti, nothing. They have like massive, you know, LED TVs on all the subways that show like where the trains are. Nobody ever breaks them. It's like everything's perfectly clean, no vandalism, no stealing, nothing.
Looking at both compositions like this, given what Mad Lions Core has been able to do in Game 1 in the crushing way,
but when you have a society that is 98% Koreans, and Korean society itself is very collectivistic, and you know people are focused on the collective good over the individual. That's what you get.
But again, right? Enemy team has Tristana with Brown. They have a Senna, and they have like a Sejuani, which most of the time is quite tanky. It feels like the front to back for the left side is just so oppressive that it might not be even like worth picking so much poke and setup from the other side. It's about how much.
You know, the downside is that there's very little diversity of viewpoint or opinions. You know, because of the collectivism, you can be collectively wrong about things and just have those beliefs be super oppressive. Like, you know, remember that North Koreans are culturally Korean as well. I wouldn't say their system is great. Right.
GIANTX have a few more tools in their toolkit this game, though. Obviously, Odoamne picking up his Rumble. Played that once so far in Winter. Won on it. But we do have Jackie's, Patrick, and Ignar all first timing, at least for 2020.
What would you recommend if you wanted to visit East Asia as a black person? I don't know, man. I've not had that experience, honestly. I'm sure there are people who have written about that online. It probably differs country to country, but I have no idea.
Very curious as to how this early
I mean, you'd probably be stared at a lot. It's probably pretty obnoxious.
Won that early game. They had pushing lanes everywhere, right? And the composition in of itself from GIANTX didn't matter. And sometimes, like, that's the case, right? You kind of look at a draft and its totality, and you believe, well, okay, like, if these comps fight, this team should win. But at the pro level, it's never quite as simple as that. And Mad Lions demonstrated for his last game why that's the case. So we've been seeing them try to get more prio this week. Last week we saw Akali from Friscawi. We also saw the Ezreal. Ezreal was a neutralizer. The Akali wasn't a great performance from him.
Japan literally is the cleanest country I ever went to. Yeah, Japan and Korea are similar in terms of cleanliness. But Japan's the same thing, right? You have, it's very homogenous, collectivistic society. So big upsides to that.
While a pretty powerful duelist, thanks to his passive in the other game, against this Jin, I'm curious as to if they have more pay. It looks like Senna still wins.
But also, you know, there's like an overwhelming, you know, pressure to conform, which, you know, leads to high suicide rates, right? You know, individual dissatisfaction. If you're different, it's pretty rough. You know, whether that's if you're gay or foreign, you know. So it's not the best. It's not, you know, unequivocally the best thing ever, right? There's pros and cons to each.
And then Braum will still have the W afterwards once he realizes that the other support is kind of isolated. Anyway, on the top side of the map is the matchup I'm actually the most curious about, because Akali, well, she loves melee matchups. She favors when you kind of have to come into her. The extended range that she has on her Q is really nice into these shorter range champions.
Wait, Peach is going to jump this wall.
Well, at least Patrick's been able to farm on the first 3 waves this game.
Level 3 looking for another gank bot lane.
No pings. Elio didn't.
So I don't know that they don't know that Peach is here, but Peach is dismounted.
Because they know MDK have been playing around the prio in the bottom lane to look for the.
All right, here we go.
They preempt the fact that Elio is going to invade. Super having to get away with the flash heal burnt already. Alvaro now trying to escape as well. Still only level 2.
Patrick on 4-shot right now.
From the blue buff, comes across for the gank, flashes forward, lands on Peach.
Flash Q. Okay. Dismounts again. He has no mana. He has no mana. Oh.
MDK react well to the change of play from GIANTX. Ignar stunned up, no flash for him. But MDK Peach is going to jump this wall,
I see Peach. Level 3 looking for another.
He actually just doesn't see Elyoya.
The gank bot lane.
No pings.
He doesn't know that Elyoya Q's over. You know, they both get cute. They both get cute around this dragon wall, using their movement abilities to go over the terrain. Nice preemptive flash by Supa too. Allows them to kite this back out and land the root.
Alvaro now trying to escape as well. Still only level 2, but Elyoya pulls away from the blue buff, comes
Q flash. Nice zoning.
No shots left. Nothing left in the gun right now as the stun lands onto Peach. Patrick reloads, but just not in time. MDK react well to the change of play.
The combo of concussive blows plus Sejuani E is so dumb. We don't see this combo very much.
Do a good job of moving from the lane into the river. They don't try and retreat back to the tower because they know even if this jungler is creating this gank from behind, their jungler is still in the bot side river, so as soon as they can close that gap, the better. Alvaro does a good job of mitigating a lot of the damage thanks to his shield, and they buy enough time to turn this one around, so the gank is going to come through. Only level 2 for the bot lane. The heal immediately popped and the flash. Great response. But then look at how much this is mitigating with the shield from Alvaro. They then turn their attention to him. The 4th shot is then going to come out from Patrick. And like, what other damage does he have? Nice engage from Elyoya. The re-engage from Peach, they think it's enough, but they just don't quite have the damage, and now Peach is isolated from his team. And again, it's this Sejuani Braum double passive, just gives so much utility and damage in this early game that Madline's quite.
The stickiness is just crazy from that. I agree with Vidius.
While the aftershocks active, so it's even tankier. Very difficult for GIANTX to win out that fight as soon as
Patrick wastes 4 shot on Sedge. Yeah, I mean, I think they just had to back off. I think they just had to back off once the re-engage came in, because the thing is like,
what other damage does he have? Nice engage from Elyoya.
Yeah, 4th shot does nothing, but as soon as Elyoya comes in, 4th shot has been used. There's very little mana. You're trying to counter-engage, and then you just get stun-locked by, you know, concussive blows. And there's the Sejuani E right afterwards, right? So you just have to back off. As soon as this comes in, it's over, right? You just need to disengage and head under turret. So the mistake is Peach on the re-engage here. He doesn't respect the combo of the frostbite and concussive blows. And the fact that Patrick was like literally reloading during the re-engage.
Patrick used the 4th shot into an aftershock Sejuani as well. While the
yeah, you got not flash for Senna's just back. I agree.
Very difficult for GIANTX to win out that fight. As soon as Elyoya joined, you could see they were trying to preempt it. It was smart play initially to get round and get the gank off, but as you say, very well coordinated by MDK to escape it. Once again, they are out to an early lead. Ignar now.
Like you either just go onto the Sejuani while you're kiting at that point, or you back off entirely. There's no support for you if you go into the back line, so I think Peach misplayed that.
Wave is being held in the bottom lane. We'll see if that's frozen by Alvaro or whether or not he's just trying to hold it outside of the tower so that Super can get there in time. Ignar going forward. Frescowi jumps away from the dredge line. And Patrick and Ignar will work their way back down towards bot. As the
Oh yeah, the fourth shot was Aftershock. Thank you, Skrelin. That's a good point. Because the Aftershock procced on the Q flash, so it did even less damage.
They're gating really well here. They're making it very difficult for Patrick and Ignar to get back down towards the bottom lane because they can anticipate, hey, we started to shove the wave in bot. They're going to try and get back down here. We know Ignar was around mid, so if we can catch him out, it gives us more time for Super to push in the wave, get some damage on this tower, and deny XP from Patrick and Ignar.
But they can't spend too much time here because notice that Jackie's is already here. This will be a 3v4.
Peach dives in, the root on Alvaro as well. Super stunned up, and Jackie's comes in. Patrick takes the kill. Super down first. Alvaro sacrificed as well as Alioya limps his way away. 2 kills.
Oh look, they got their first 2 kills of the series, guys. It took them 1 game and 6 minutes, but they got 2 kills.
Able to move as easily as Jackie's was. He cleared out that mid wave and he had immediate access to his side of the jungle, whereas Frescowi would have been forced to go all the way around. Regardless, though, MDK still tried to force a fight. This time, though, they had the additional damage of Jackie's, and they were able to find 2 kills. Alioya, though, is around. Don't spend too much time here because notice that.
Yeah, really greedy invade. Obviously, they're just not respecting mid prio here. Remember, they also just don't have flashes. So, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Could just push out mid and then go drag, by the way. They already push bot, could just push out mid and go drag. Wah, wah, wah.
He cleared out that mid wave and he had immediate access to his side of the jungle, whereas Frescowi would have been forced to go all the way around.
Yeah, Alvaro's been good.
MDK still tried to force a fight. This time, though, they had the additional damage of Jackie's and they were able to find 2 kills. Alioya, though, is still hovering around bot lane. Super and Alvaro will make their way back. This is a huge minion wave, though.
Is LCS next? LCS might be tomorrow.
Get a kill. Is it worth all the experience and gold that that wave would contain? Just look at the minimap here. You can see that Jackie's is underneath this tower, and sorry, Frescowi is underneath this tower, whereas Jackie's has already made his way over to the fight, and that extra damage was all they really needed. They get a kill handed over to Patrick. So they end up giving it? No, they end up giving the other kill over to Jackie.
Not even the Smolder game. Nah, I gotta. I have to go take care of my kid.
Definitely a relief from all of the pressure that Man Lion Score have been putting.
He's been. I mean, it's Sunday my time, so obviously it would be normally a weekend, but he had Friday off and he's got tomorrow off as well because of the Lunar New Year. I will watch some of the LCS games though. I'll probably watch all of the LCS games on stream, honestly, because we're gonna have time because there is no LCK or LPL. So in the next few days, we'll get around to all of the LEC and LCS games, I'm pretty sure.
Over to 46. Only a slight gold lead into the kill that Patrick did acquire.
Keep your eyes on mid as Peach is hovering around the lane, has the level 6 now. But nope, nothing really going to come off the back of it.
Is that Chuseok?
Getting close to his level 6. He should be able to secure it.
Does your kid attend Korean school? Yes, that's part of the reason why we're back here for a year. Does LCK resume on Wednesday? Yes, it does. But LPL doesn't actually resume for like a week from Monday. They're off for like 10 days. LCK only took a week off.
Especially running the Comet. We've seen, I believe it was Merman that we saw do this last time, where of course you can use your Q.
Half white, half Korean, right? Or South Koreans accepting of mixed ethnicity kids? Increasingly, I would say. I mean, yes is the answer, particularly if they speak Korean. But, you know, to a certain degree, they will still be seen as outsiders.
Jackie's the only red gold lead for GIANTX right now, about 200 gold.
There's a word called kyopo for Koreans who like grow up in the West or have, you know, more Western sensibilities that, you know, might be applied in this case.
The difference is Ignat is making his way out onto the map first, but he's not level 6 yet, whereas Alvaro is. Would love to see Ignat making his way over. Oh,
Ignite. Odo's dead. Yeah, he's just dead.
Oh, the shield.
No, I think Ignite still gets him. It's enough.
Nice.
Alvaro is. Would love to see
Nicely done, actually.
Ignat making his way
Merwin's been fun to watch, man.
over.
E2, Q.
Ignite. Odo's dead. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
dead.
Oh, the shield.
No, I think Ignite still gets him. It's enough for Merwin. A blasting one enough to take down the Rumble. Remember,
It's crazy to know he had kill pressure there. I would not have suspected that.
Flawlessly done there from Merwin. Very well played. Akali does have a lot of trade potential. Wasn't expecting that tower dive to come through, though. Credit to Merwin. Now the Herald fight. But the numbers in favor of
Fisher
Mad.
out from Alvaro. Elioya going in. Currently, it's a 4v3 in favor of GIANTX, but Super joins the fray. Peach diving in. Alvaro able to escape, and Peach getting burst down by MDK. A huge investment from GIANTX to try and get these grubs. Instead, they lose their jungler, and they'll lose at least.
Very well played. Akali does have a lot of trade potential. Wasn't expecting that tower dive to come through, though. Credit to Merwin. Now the Herald fight. But the numbers in favor.
Great Braum ult. Really good Braum ult to clog that choke. Then he just gets the shield up.
It's a 4v3 in favor of
And there's actually no follow-up damage, even though you get a good engage from Peach here. They don't even have to use Senna ult yet. Alvaro, nice job.
Try and get these grubs. Instead, they lose their jungler, and they'll lose at least one of these. Odo could look for a steal, decides against it, doesn't really want to.
Third generation Korean immigrant felt isolated when she studied abroad. Did she speak Korean? Because I think that's the big difference. And also probably a big difference if you're a man and if you volunteer for military.
Merwin would actually just go straight from top
Because
towards,
not going to military as a man is,
I'm basing, guys.
you know, culturally frowned upon. So even if you don't have to, because you're not a Korean citizen,
They were saying, hey,
you can always volunteer.
super well, so it should be in our favor, but the amount of stall that Braum Sejuani has is excessive.
Am I throwing a Super Bowl party? No, it's at 8:30 a.m. Korean time. I will be throwing a Super Bowl party for myself.
And the Sejuani passive, it's just, it's a lot.
And you have extra CC coming out from the Senna. You've got damage from her. You've got healing. You've got the Tristana who's able to free fire. And you've got Jackie's getting caught out here in the mid lane. Dawning Shadow coming across. Jackie's has the flash. And Frescow saves his life by knocking him away with the Buster shot.
Unlucky.
Of a miscalculation there. Frescow did the maths, but damn, he's bad at it as he kicks him away to safety. He will still get some damage on the tower in the middle.
Can you keep American citizenship if you volunteer in Korea? No, you're misunderstanding this. If you are Korean American, you can have dual citizenship if you volunteer for the military. You cannot keep your Korean citizenship if you are male and do not do military service. So the only way to be a dual citizen between Korea and another country is to do the military service in Korea. Otherwise, you lose your Korean citizenship. Is Faker not serving frowned upon? Different, because he, like, earned his exemption by winning the gold medal. So I don't think it will matter for him.
Just so many build variations. I have to imagine that this one is more about, like, chipping away your opponents, and obviously you can take full advantage of the passive because you're in fights for so long. Anyway, the Dragon being started off by GIANTX. Super still needs to make his way down. I don't think he's going to get there in time. And Mad Lions Core, I think, should just...
Yeah, the Braum pick is absolutely mega here. Not only do you get the not counter pick in lane, the Nautilus counter pick, but you get such crazy value into Jason and Jin. It's really good drafts from Mad Lions, honestly. Impressive drafts. Merwin on the flank, doing 1 quintillion damage to their poke comp.
The rest of GIANTX still trying to get back towards that mid lane. The curtain's open. Will they close on Elioya? Again, the Unbreakable eats a shot, but Alvaro eats his death. Frescowi now diving forward. Jackie's and Odoamne low, looking for the resets, can't find them. Glacial Prison flashed by Patrick. Super still.
What was my favorite restaurant in West LA? Hatchet Hall. Sichuan Impression.
I believe that ended up being a 3-for-1, maybe a 3-for-2 in favor of
Simpang Asia, which is an Indonesian restaurant.
as well, but if he overstays TP coming in, I don't think Odo can get anything here. His ult isn't back up, or is it?
No.
Those are a few for you to work with there.
You gave us a moment of tension, though. It's like one of those murder mysteries where you know exactly who's done it, but it's like, oh, but did the policeman do it with the carton of milk?
I thought that they would just act as zoners to try and allow for Super and Frescowi to get the tower. They go all in. They get a good amount of damage onto Peach, who's able to get away to safety. But then Merwin comes in, cleans up the explosive shot, ends up getting it. Then you know what? They back away. They realize, you know what? We can't get anything more of that. GIANTX trying to retreat. Madline's core trying to retreat. Then Patrick said, hey, still got this ultimate available. I think this could be a good fight. Ignore with the re-engage. But Alvaro
The
blocks
Braum
much
value,
damage
dude.
from both Odoamne and Patrick. They end up trading 1-for-1, but with this
That line's pretty good, honestly.
chasing, they get the flash out then from Patrick, and then Super. I think Patrick wasn't expecting.
Have I ever been to Vienna? No, I would love to go to Vienna, dude. I would love get some skiing in the Austrian Alps, go see an opera in Vienna.
Excellent series so far. 46 stacks on him, 14 minutes into the game. So definitely doing a lot of work for his team. Patrick steps forward here. Control will cleared out by Elyoya and Merwin, but this will be
Hit up a nice masquerade in Vienna, you know what I mean? I've heard I would love to go to Vienna.
Much more even early game than game one.
For sure. I mean, they're finding great fights again, and I just think
Indulgent Indonesian viewer, what is your favorite Indonesian dish?
Koi picking up the I think Senna is really strong. I do think Senna is sleeping on the power of this pick. I feel like the whole idea is like, oh, she scales, you know. She's good at
I'm
late
a
game.
big
I'm
Martabak
to see
fan.
Successfully punish this champion in the laning phase. And
What else do I like?
that are better at punishing the champion, but in Europe, they are struggling to do just that.
All right, Betty, I have been away for a little while, but having watched today and a few of
Some of the like braised beef and the coconut leaves.
Well, you don't know that
I forget what
much,
that's
okay?
called.
We're
Nasi goreng, obviously, which is their chicken fried
I
rice.
know you went to the dentist recently. Did you get a prescription for that copium? Or
Those are some of the ones I like.
powerful stuff you're on right now, man.
Lions Squad putting their focus towards the bot side of the map. Dragon's running around minute 45.
Come to London. I've been to London a million times, man.
4-1 setup. They love this setup. They've been using it all season long. Usually it's Merwin sitting in the isolated lane. This time, though,
Rendange beef. That's it. Thank you very much.
oh, there he is. He's with the rest of his team.
BR Locks, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
Jumps away.
But looking for Scowie mid lane as well. He's just chipping away at that tower. They're more than happy to concede this tier 2 in the top lane.
It's exactly the exchange that GIANTX took in game one as well. Jackie's was pushing in top. They had bounties at that point, but he'll take 2 towers in exchange for 3 or 2.5. MDK could look for more. They'll take away the jungle. Jackie's will be able to finish off that tier 2, as you say, but it's still only an even tower trade, and you're losing your entire jungle.
My question is,
But I like spicy food a lot, so, you know, sambal is
I think they might fight
love Indonesian food, man.
He tries to jump away, but he's locked up, knocked up, and almost taken out of the fray.
Oh,
The explosive
couple on.
shot will be enough. Frescowi goes on a kill
Really
streak.
clean games by Mad Lions. This is very impressive. Playing to win conditions super well, understanding how to operate their drafts. Besides that little whoopsie in the jungle where they overextended, which I think you can forgive them for being overconfident at times because of how well the series has been going for them.
Pear, he's a peach.
Yeah, but pear-shaped, it means it went poorly.
But he's a peach, man. Another tower secured for Mad Lions Boy. Dragon is spawning 15 seconds.
Martabak, is that the Chancellor of the Klingon Empire?
Frescowi will take one as well.
It's a good joke.
Doesn't have that equalizer, but where's the rest of the follower? He burnt the curtain call. Ignar comes in.
Gowron, best
First
Chancellor.
of the recalls from MDK. Don't do those, but they can just recall a little bit further away and they'll be fine.
Did you watch the garbage between SK and Team Heretics? I did. You too can go subscribe to my Bangers Only channel and see me malding. Here you go.
They're doing a great job of playing around the lanes. They will concede a dragon, not the end of the world. They did spend a lot of time on the bot side of the map. They were sitting on a lot of gold. I'm curious as to what Frescowi will buy. Will we see a fully completed item? Not quite. opponents working their way up there, though. But now, what do Mad Lions do? They turn their attention
BR
to the top
Locks.
side.
I don't think I
Look at the
thanked
minimap.
you. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Maybe I did. I'm tired from having a newborn, guys. My memory is like a goldfish. LCS versus LEC. Who do you think will do better internationally? I think that perhaps LCS actually has better depth right now, but G2 is still better than any LCS team. So I think maybe like on average, the top, 4 teams of LCS are better, but the best LEC teams are better than the best LCS teams.
The Baron is spawning in a minute 20, so I wonder if they say, you know what, we're happy to just take this tower for now. We're going to go and catch bot wave. We have TPs for Friscowie.
Isn't the Shy banned from LCK? Is he? I don't know. I don't know why he would be.
And then we can make immediately back. They can move back towards the Baron to start contesting that objective.
Is G2 better? Do they just have worse competition? TBD tomorrow versus BDS, guys. That's going to tell us a lot.
I think the Vamceptor might just be to sit on.
That was my suspicion, yes.
Corefield's in the pickaxe to build into something else, but we'll see. I think the removal of mythics in the game has allowed a little bit more flexibility in terms of build, which I quite like. Considering mythics were introduced originally to provide more flexibility in terms of builds, I think we finally got to that point.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I mean, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game right now.
Do you ever get to a point in the game? I do it a lot with supports where I'm like, I've got Locket, I can't get Shurelias now, because in my head you can't get them both, right? Because they were both mythics. And then halfway through the game, my Twitch chat will be like, "Hey Medic, why haven't you bought Shurelias? What are you doing?"
Well, the only thing that annoys me is that I'm on Akali one trick now.
Okay, that annoys me too, but we go ahead.
But the game keeps telling me to build, like, when I finish my 3 items, it's like, you should build Void Staff, or you should build Zhonya's. And I'm like, why aren't you recommending Death Cap?
It has seen your playstyle, Betty. There's an avoid second. So the Vamceptor was just to sit on for Friscowie. Now Mad Lions pushing in the top side of the map. They've already cleared off the turrets everywhere outside of the base of GIANTX, except for this lone tier 2 in the top lane. Super continues to chip away at this tower. 60 stacks for him. Jackie's slowed, but just forced away enough that MDK can tank up the turret and take it. The inhibitor tower in the middle.
Really clean disengage here. Right as I say that, Merwin gets hooked, because of course he does. I went back in time and caster cursed him. Oh, it doesn't matter because he still gets a kill because he's super ahead. All right, fair enough. It was merely a clever bait, merely a ruse to get a 2-for-1 trade.
It's a 2-for-1 exchange in the end in favor of MDK.
With the jungler dead, that could be the window that MDK are looking to jump through to secure this Baron. With 3 members still alive.
I really enjoyed your cooking streams with Susie back then. Well, maybe you guys should have watched them more. Yes, I can bring them back. I cannot do it in Korea because all of the equipment is in the States. But when we get back to the States during the off season, perhaps the cooking streams can resume. I love doing those cooking streams, guys. You just didn't watch them, so I'm not gonna waste my time on it. I would rather just be a full-time cooking streamer. That's what I would like to be. The algorithm refused to push them to me. Did you keep despite moving? How much of my cooking stuff? Yeah, I kept it all. It got moved to Denver. All of my shit is in a warehouse in Denver. I owned a 3-bedroom house in LA, guys. I have all my stuff. It got moved in a moving truck to Denver, and it's now sitting there waiting for me to get back.
Starting off the Baron, GIANTX finding a window with good damage initially onto Alyoya. He turns onto Patrick. The shield isn't quite enough to protect him, so he ends up losing his life to Jackie's, but then Friscowie, untouched on the backline, gets the resets on his W. Kill up to
3-bedroom in LA, that's a couple million. No, I bought my house for 1.2 in 2019. It's only 1,800 square feet.
I saw a few people saying they put him on the Karma in game 1 because you don't have to have as much of a carry impact on a champion in the form of a Karma. Obviously, you can still do a lot of work.
I mean, it's still outrageous, don't get me wrong. Like, one of the reasons we're moving to Colorado is because I can buy a house that's cheaper and 3 times the size.
Caught out a little bit. Concussive blows not procced as Ignar steps around the corner to try and help his jungler, but MDK...
Yeah, my 3-bedroom house in Los Angeles, I haven't sold it yet, but when I sell it, you know... I'll buy a cheaper house in Denver that's 3x the size. So I mean, it's completely ridiculous. That's why it's one of the reasons why we're leaving, because I don't have, you know, there's no reason for me to be in LA. I don't even like LA. I'd rather be in Colorado where you can just go fucking skiing.
Quite join up with the team in time, and in the end, MDK's foray into the jungle does secure them some razor beaks and some vision, which will have to be cleared out by GIANTX.
Yoga ult and Alvaro ult were used in that exchange, but they don't quite secure the kill. Overall, they do get very good vision into the top side of GIANTX's jungle.
1.2 mil for 1,800 square feet. Yes, it is mental. It's fucking mental. That's why I'm out. That's why I'm out, Adanian. I'm out. I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done.
The benefit for GIANTX is they've taken 2 of these, so it's not like this is getting MDK onto soul points. It's not like they have to worry too much about a mountain soul too soon, which would be very powerful on a Sejuani and a Braum. Just makes you that much tankier, that much harder to deal with. And with GIANTX falling behind in terms of gold, they'll fall behind in terms of damage as well. Jackie's is at 3 items, so he'll start putting down some DPS, but it's hard when he's really your main damage source against a Sejuani and a Braum.
The components are now complete for Frescowi, though. Bloodthirster finished as well. Means that he's strong. This Tristana is terrifying, if he wasn't already. GIANTX doing what they can to not lose all control of their topside jungle. The top wave pushed in once more. Observers highlighting what GIANTX can
Plus,
see.
you get taxed 10% by California.
Pushed in. That ward on the top side of the map offering a little bit of information.
The amount of money I will save on taxes alone just by being in Colorado is absurd.
Far sight number 2. That's just a ward across the wall. Ignar, no wards left in his inventory. There's far sight number 2. You know, it's down to about 5,000. Unbreakable comes out from Alvaro. Curling Core being held on. 2-second bullet fired out. There's the 3rd one left in the chamber. Merwin, a good flank position. There's the 4th. It's Alvaro. Hook goes in onto Ignar. He's going to join.
It's pretty good engage onto the back line, actually, with the equalizer here. But that's pretty good. That was actually about as good as I think it's going to get for GIANTX. Supa is slowing himself.
Super flashing away. The heal as well for a little bit of extra movement speed, but Peach now has a good flank position off as Merwin does have the TP and is about to reset.
Oh, he interrupted the engage with Seji.
Ignar flashing in as they catch out Elioya. Good hook onto Frescowi as well, but he still has his flash, and there's the TP behind by Merwin. The Dawning Shadow goes wide. Ignar down.
That's nice. He's coming back in with full HP from a base. Very nicely played. Good recovery by Mad Lions. You know, this team is actually pretty good, guys.
Make the fight work out. The ace is secured. And that's going to unlock the Baron. So much of my focus at the start of that fight was on Merwin. His flank looked so good, and I thought that that was going to be a 1 fight. But on the left side, the front line from Alvaro.
They got some value out of the Jhin ult, too, because of the Braum shield being down and the patience they had.
Keep your eyes on Merwin here. Gets this execution.
This is a really good engage, guys. This is really well done by Odo Omne and Peach. I mean, you get a 4-man equalizer here. Super nice.
Peach and Odo Omne sets up GIANTX beautifully. The problem is Merwin is going to go back to base and then TP back into the fight. And all Mad Lions Koi are doing a buying time. Super gets a bit of a heal.
Also, Elioya still had Glacial Prison, which actually does do a lot of work in slowing Patrick and Ignar, so they can't catch up to the play.
They're going to get a nice interrupt onto Peach here with the Q from Elioya.
You know, you wonder if Ignar and Patrick were here just a little bit sooner, if this play actually goes a very different way.
More than enough damage to kill here. They've got full HP on all the carries.
Patrick also takes the AoE.
Yeah.
From Tristana. Oh, rough.
Play from Mad Lions Koi. A great TP from Merwin to solidify the fight. The Baron, and very likely the game.
A little bit messier here from MDK, but still in commanding position. 26 minutes in. They are 10,000 gold ahead. They have Baron buff for the next 2 minutes, and they've already cracked an inhibitor. You can see Frescowi in this 1-4 split is down in the bottom lane, getting that next wave forward. MDK can walk through the base. It's a little trickier, as GIANTX could collapse as they go forward. Ignar, Hex flashing, Alvaro with a good Glacial Fissure. Lands on two.
Not yet sold on the Culture channel. Well, You're missing out, man. The Culture Channel is actually fucking banger content these days. A Danian here does some great editing. Foreplay and Nerd Legion are great shows. You're missing out. I'm very proud of the content that we're putting out on the Culture Channel right now as a team.
On Winter will fall for GIANTX. MDK are looking for more as Ignar locked up, stunned up. The flash forward onto Patrick. Jackies gets onto the back line, but Patrick's down. Jackie's down, and MDK are through to the next round.
Another impressive game.
C9 Energy next. No, I think we're going to save that for tomorrow, guys. I'm going to go spend some time with my family. It's 5 p.m. here. What's the Culture Channel? Here you go.
Going into that series against Vitality on Monday. Very excited for that one. But just great mid-game macro control. Overall, a very solid performance. But of course, commiserations.
Yeah, big stomp. Very impressive play by Mad Lions. They keep doing better and better. You know, I too was skeptical of the roster changes that they made, and are they going to be worse? Probably, but they're also, you know, worse than they would have been. But are they better than we expected? Also true. You know, they're also better than we expected them to be.